No, you guys. Is it noticeable? I literally have a rash. Hi. Welcome back, you gorgeous, stunning, fabulous people. I have a rash. I do. You know what? I feel like it's really gonna bug me. I'm gonna put this on. Let's just talk about how sensitive my skin. We're getting into it. Welcome to a Q&A. I'm getting ready. We're doing Chatty Q&A. We're catching up. I miss you guys. We're filling each other in. Again, you guys sent amazing questions. My skin is so sensitive. Look at the top that I wore last night, right? I did not get a good picture. I wasn't serving last night. Face card was declining, unfortunately. Well, now I look like I'm performing in a quartet later. Okay, you guys get the vibe and the vision, so I'm not even worried about it. You guys know my deal with cheap jewelry. I break out into a rash. Like, I wear a bunch of chunky jewelry and the next day it's like all irritated. This top was a literal zipper. It had a little zipper that was barely touching my chest. Went out with my girls, literal rash, and it's so itchy. I have cortisone cream on it right now. Welcome back to the channel. We're getting into the face. I have sunscreen on and I did my skincare. I use this primer. I like it. It's the primer that I said smells like these donuts, and I won't shut up about it. I am wearing pants, I promise. I ask you guys questions on Instagram. Here's my Instagram if you want to follow me. We should dive in because Q&A is I'm always so chit-chatty and I want to answer every question, so the footage ends up being hours long. Okay, I literally thought I was gonna have to make up a question in case none of you guys asked this. I was just gonna be like, oh, somebody's asking like what I'm doing right now. But my girl Haley did ask what I'm up to in NYC, and then I'll just screenshot it and put it up. Have you broken free from the work search curse yet? Because I know I haven't. First of all, you will. I'm manifesting it. I'm sending that energy out for you. I actually have, which is crazy. This past week, I'm filming on a Saturday right now. This past Monday was my first day starting full time. I did like 3 interviews and then I had a trial, made content, made sure we vibed, all of that jazz. This week was my first full week. She's full time. I am the content and social media manager at Orson Iris, and it's crazy to think because I wonder if I had posted it on my channel, maybe Ellie and Chloe. I interviewed in 2018, my sophomore year of college at Orson, and it was like their old studio. I shoot there a lot now, so it's so funny. I like always used to think of it, like Orson was always kind of in the back of my mind because I was always like around where the studio was, where I interviewed. But no, when I got there in 2018 to interview, the door was like really hard to find and I was like freaking out, and I had to like track down the girl and like DM her, and I was like so embarrassed and stressed out, and it was like the worst beginning to an interview. And then I was like frantic and I probably did horrible because I didn't get it. But now we're there, which is fab, and a little bit of a full circle moment, so that's very cool. I've followed the brand like since they started in like 2016. I'm very excited. The size of the team is like perfect. You guys know I've like missed working with the team so much, and yeah, as much as I love doing freelance styling and social media, it's so expensive living in New York. Really needed a full-time job. So you guys know I've shared how brutal this job process has been and just how hard it is. I literally subscribe to like every job tracking, fashion, not specific to fashion, websites, all the above. My email, I'm like still weeding out, unsubscribe. I hate that hanger is out. I just noticed that. Whatever. It really sucked. Like money was just pouring out of me, dipping into my savings. You guys know my last job, I wanted to go full-time so bad. It kept kind of getting strung along a little bit. Full-time didn't happen, and I dipped into my savings for way too long that I was like, I am going to try to make content creation and influencing and freelance styling at work as best I can in the meantime, but I really do need something like concrete that I could like save money, because it's just not happening for me. It's very encouraging to see it happen for other people, and one day I would love to get there. But I'm super excited about the opportunity at Orson, and I really like everybody. Everybody's so lovely. That's all I'll kind of say now, because obviously I just started, and yeah, I need to start doing my makeup. And so I kind of have to figure out time management, balancing situation with YouTube, with Instagram, with all the things that I am super passionate about and have built platforms on and communities on. Still trying to like figure that out. I'm also still freelance styling, so like some weekends I will be doing that. I'm gonna work it out because obviously I adore YouTube. Obviously still going to make videos. I just need to figure out what like pattern works best for me. I'll obviously keep you guys updated. We're balancing it all because I don't want to have to give anything up. But obviously first priority is now this job. But if you don't already, go follow Orson Iris, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram. That's a bit of me. That's a bit of a life update. Somebody asked what my next hair color is and like vibe. You guys really want to touch up the red again and do the whole blonde chunks one more time and then I'll switch her up. But I just love that hairstyle so much. I think I'm gonna not do the bang this time. So I'll grow out the bangs and then just do the layers. I feel like my bangs are gonna piss me off in the summer. And I don't know how I feel with myself with bangs. I don't know if I like it very much. Maybe it's not for me. Definitely doing those kind of like stair chunked layers because God, do I love that hair. Like every person I see with it, I'm like gagged. K-pop hair and aesthetics and things like that definitely inspired me. I don't know like the true origin of the hair cut. Phoebe, my little sister, showed me the girls. She loves Twice and girls serve, the girls serve. Somebody asked me like what trends will I be dipping my toes into this summer? And they're already like trends that I've been fucking with for a while that I'm just gonna like keep up with in the summer because I really like them, you know? Certainly a fan of a chunky belt. All the girls are talking about the chunky belts. They're huge. Coachella's happening right now. The girls are out with the belt. There's this one belt that I literally see everywhere and I'm so sick of it. I don't want to come off as a bitch if you have this belt. Because if you have this belt, I get it. It's a cool ass belt. So it's like, I get it. But I just see it everywhere and I know there are more chunky, cool fucking vintage sick belts out there. I love the chunky belt look. I love like a really cool huge belt buckle. I'm obsessed with that. I love like a mini skirt that like resembles a belt and like wearing that just on the hips like a really micro mini. I love those. I'm super into hot pant, booty short, cheeky short. I know Clara, tiny Jewish girl, has dipped into that and she looks so good in every pair. I really want some. I will say that's like one of my most, probably like my most insecure areas, my body, my thighs and shit like that. So that's gonna be a piece that I'm like a little scared to dabble into just because I like don't want to draw so much attention to like my thighs, but they look so good. Like I love a booty short. And like playing with those proportions are so fire. Like they make your legs look so long with a little stiletto. Oh my God, Izzy's been slaying it. I love the almost like underwear with a tight vibe. There's so many ways to switch it up. Do a cool tight, do a pattern tight, do a color tight, and like switch up the short. Like there's so many ways to like make it you and your own personal style. You don't always have to do like the black with the sheer black tight. Obviously the flower applique, chokers, neckties, clips, pins, all of that shit. It's so good. I'm tired of the fancy club knockoffs and the Amazon dupes. I'm tired of it. I love these trends and they're trends for a reason. But I love to see it done in like your own way. You know what I mean? And like not in a fast fashion way. I feel like a lot of people subscribe to the fast fashion like lifestyle because of how accessible and like cheap it is to get those pieces. Obviously with Amazon, like I buy shit on Amazon, not clothing, but like an accessory. I'll do it if I really need it. Random shit around the house. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that. Literally my first like brand collab back when I first started like doing any sort of content creation were Princess Polly and Nasty Gal, because like they were the first people that reached out to me and they really made me feel like, oh shit, I can do this and I'm a content creator and like this is it. I'm an influencer girl, like here I go. Kind of like parade with their like with their marketing approach with like sending every person ever underwear and like made everybody feel special and like that they had a voice and could share it on Instagram and like all of that. Like it's brilliant of them, you know, like Princess Polly and Nasty Gal made me feel that way. But I do think like there needs to be and I've talked to a bunch of people and I know this is like coming as like making sustainable fashion, making secondhand fashion, slightly used pieces from my closet accessible to like you. So it's like new apps that maybe have a better filtering system than say like some people have terrible experiences on Depop and like can't ever find anything that they like. eBay's getting better with like keyword searches so that you can find things. Some people are scared to order on eBay because they're like, I'm gonna get my card hacked. Like just like there's a reputation around some reselling websites when it's just like not the case. Population of people that think thrifting and like buying secondhand clothing is like disgusting, and that's a whole other layered discussion. I mean, there will always be clothes to fill the thrift stores. You know that there are people that like need to and only can afford thrift store prices, and it is scary when you see thrift stores like amping up their prices because they know people like me are gonna buy it. And like there are like a lot of layers with this conversation, and I think it's a great thing to invest time in understanding how you consume, developing shopping morals, actually like thinking about it, trying not to be as wasteful and like careless maybe with purchases, and think it through. Like, am I really gonna wear this? Do I really like it? That's also part of developing a personal style. It's like, are you buying this for yourself? Like, do you really like it? Do you feel good in this piece? Like, is it something that you want to explore? Or are you only exploring it because you feel feel like it's like what you have to wear to be cool kind of thing. Like, you guys know I'm not like necessarily anti-trend, but I think you don't need to buy a fast fashion dupe of like an independent designer's work like that. We just don't need to be doing that. Things like search engines, instead of like when you Google like brown leather cowboy boots, instead of like a Zara or like a Steve Madden popping up, a pair on Depop would pop up, or eBay or something like that. People who just don't want to go through the search and the hunt of everything are just like, I am gonna buy like a fast fashion pair because it's easier, they know it, they know their size, they're comfortable with it, and people, that's what people do. So just like working towards making it more consumable, easy to find, making sustainable fashion and sustainable brands at a more accessible price point as well, because that's been a whole thing. And things like with like luxury designer brands, like it's a lot to look at the entire thing and say we're gonna like turn this shit out and make our entire process a sustainable process. You have to like start small and start changing processes and little things so that you can eventually get to the place that you need to be. But it is a lot harder to like shift your entire manufacturing, your production, your factory sourcing fabric, like everything into making it sustainable. I just think you have to pay your employees right. That is never excusable. Like, you cannot justify paying people like $6 a day. This is like such a layered conversation, and I could make a video just kind of dedicated to this. I know I'm gonna go on forever. I got a lot of questions on how am I not afraid to dress kind of how I want, personal style, how do you feel comfortable enough to go outside in your crazy outfits. I've definitely talked about this before too in other Q&As, things like meeting up with friends when like you go out and like walk around, so like you don't feel like you're alone and everybody's staring at you, like you feed off the energy around other people that like make you feel good. So you're not so focused on like what you look like and like, is this here, like pull this down, somebody's staring at me, like they're gonna make fun of me, do I look good? You know, when you have your people, like you're distracted, you're in it, you're energized, they're gassing you, like that's what you want. So that's ideal. I know that like you can't always like meet up with friends to go everywhere. When you find an outfit that like in your room you feel so good in and like it feels like you, why would you ever give that feeling up for the thought of like another person's opinion on you, or like a 2-second uncomfortable experience of walking by a man like that? Sometimes I do consider that, and I'm like, I'm in a bad mood, I'm feeling sensitive, I'm feeling weird. If I put on this outfit right now and people stare at me and I get a gross comment, I'm gonna feel really fucking annoyed. Like, if I'm just not ready for that in that particular moment, sometimes I will save that outfit and wear it when I'm like, fuck this, I'm feeling good, let's put it on. If people say something, whatever, that's life. They're fucking gross and weird, that's their own problem. It's not even about me. Life is just too fucking short. This is so cliche, but it literally is so true. Like, do not waste your time trying to be somebody else, trying to appeal to anybody else's opinion on you. Like, it's about you at the end of the day. The one person you have to sit with and vibe with and like be happy around internally is like yourself. And it's like, okay, cliche, whatever, but it's so true. And like the past couple years, I live alone now, and it's like learning to kind of like be your own best friend. Not even be your own best friend, because that is a lot. And like self-love is a whole thing, you guys. It's a whole journey. But just being able to like connect with yourself in whatever way. Maybe it's your outfit, maybe clothes are like a passion of yours, and it's a way that like you express yourself. Obviously faking it till you make it is like great, and if you can do that, that's dope. But like knowing how cool it is to like have a style and experiment and like look in the mirror and be like, I love this, I love this look. Like, that's such a cool feeling. Some people don't even have that. Some people are still figuring it out, which is totally okay. But like, life's about experimenting. It's trial and error. You may hate the outfit in a month, but if you loved it in that moment, good for you. That's a part of developing confidence, and like maybe you're not even conscious of it in the moment. You do it over and over again, and then it starts to become like nature. You put on an outfit, you leave the house, you don't even think about it. And it sounds so simple, and I know it's not as simple as that. Music is a huge thing for me, getting ready with the music, even with headphones in, obviously not too loud. You gotta be aware of the surroundings, guys. I've said this in a video before, having a little soundtrack that you know like makes you feel confident, makes you feel good. Even like I was walking around when I met up with my friends out, it was like 9, it was dark, just like me and another person on the street. I had headphones in but wasn't playing anything. Like, and when I was passing like men on the street, like just trying to look occupied and whatever, and just kind of like, fuck you, I'm ignoring you energy, like can just, you're good, you're on your target, don't think about anybody else. Have music playing, don't have music playing. My song that I've been strutting to as of late, Cool Cat by Queen. It's embarrassing. I love this song, but I did like rediscover it. I think it's like an Amazon ad. One of you have to have seen it. It's an Amazon ad and somebody like plays a song and they're like feeling themselves when they're walking. I watched that and I was like, and then obviously what does it for me every time is gonna be the Renaissance album by Beyonce. Like it's gonna do it every time. That is like the most unstoppable playlist you could ever put on is that album. You don't even need a playlist. Play the album. That's my best advice for you. If you need a power up, that album's gonna do it. It's also Coachella season, and around this time I do like to revisit Baychella. I do like to revisit Homecoming. Probably one of the greatest performances I've ever seen, and I didn't see it live. I did see it on my TV, and I do watch it way too much. But again, here I am promoting that one more time. If you have not seen Beyonce's Homecoming Coachella performance documentary, for the love of God, go watch it. But I loved this question. What is your favorite fashion memory from childhood? So many pieces that like I wore and loved as a child. One being like this one top that was like a mix of stripe, rose print, and ruffles, and it was like my favorite piece of all time. It literally got so gross I wouldn't let my mom wash it because I wanted to wear it every day, that like it was like on the ground somewhere and like little mice started to like eat my shirt. It was that dirty because I literally wore it so much. That is such a gross story, and like we didn't have like a mice issue, like we got rid of the mice. But one of my favorite fashion memories was this baby blue like Penny Lane-esque jacket that my grandmother got me to go see my first Broadway play. I forget how old I was, maybe like 7, 8. Light blue cuffs, collar, muff. You guys, get into a muff. I have one actually over there. It's real fur, but it's secondhand. It was the serve of the century. Like me showing up to my first Broadway play and like that baby blue coat. I did my hair and put one of those bun covers on because I was like taking ballet at the time. I remember putting on a little bun cover. That is a little accessory that I would like to bring back. Like a crochet bun cover. Something like, why don't we dress up our buns? I also love the little flower pins where you put into your hair. I love those. Want to get those too. So cute. I like this question. Tips on feeling genuine in what I post without feeling cringy or egotistical or gimmicky. It's also something that like you have to consider when doing like content, creative direction, and things like that for a brand, right? Because like you need to sell your pieces. You're a brand, you're a company. It's like business oriented, but like you want to inspire, you want to be authentic, you want to be cool, you want to be human, you want to be a person at the end of the day. And like same with like if you're influencing, it's also a job. You also need to like sell or promote, but like you also want to be you, and like people are following you and subscribing you and listening to you. If you're an influencer, you're influencing people for a reason. Like people care. I guess I just think like the most important part is to like post shit that like you genuinely love. I'm never really gonna post anything that I like don't genuinely like and enjoy. Maybe it's not the most on brand shit, or it's different from like your normal content, or it's not like the most fire fit pick, but you like the aesthetic, or like you never have to put yourself in a box as a creator. And like if you fuck with something, at the end of the day you have control of your platform. If something inspires you, if it's like a landscape shot, or like you can't really see your outfit but you like the energy, or it's like you like it for whatever reason that's maybe different from like what people go to your page for. It's your channel, it's your vibe, like you're setting the tone. Maybe it doesn't get as many likes, maybe it doesn't get much engagement, but you wanted to post it. Egotistical thing is like that shit. Like if you post on your Instagram and a lot of the pictures are you being a baddie, just you with nobody else in it, fit pictures, your entire channel is just you. If that bothers you, fuck off. You want to come off as you as possible on your social media, but it is like a filtered through curated experience of a person, and it's like one part of them or whatever they choose to share. So it's like that is a human being that you're looking at, and if you think you know them from like a couple like swipes, like you don't. You don't. And people form opinions and they love to judge. As long as you're satisfied and happy with what you're putting out, who cares? In order to like film myself and edit myself this much and post this much and whatever, I have to be some sort of like a narcissist. I'm like, how do I even look at myself and edit myself this much and consume my own content, like to put it out? But I don't feel like a narcissist. I don't feel egotistical, but it's just in nature. It just is kind of. You're your own canvas half the time, and nobody's better than you because they don't post photos of themselves on Instagram. That doesn't make you better than somebody. You know? How do you prepare yourself for professional meetings, interviews, jobs, collabs? I like this question too because it also relates. I was just doing a whole interview process. That shit is spooky. I hate interviews. I hate them. It's so different depending on like what you're interviewing for. It's so different. So it's like, this is kind of a tricky thing. I think always like when it comes to your portfolio or your resume, depending on what you're interviewing for, review that, talk it through. You can film yourself talking it through, you can record it, but just like break everything down so that if they ask you for a specific experience, explain what you did here. What do you mean by this and that? You're not like having to be like, oh shit, what did I do for that brand? Or like, that was a while ago, but like I need to make it sound recent, like whatever. Like you're prepped, you're ready, you've spoken on it, you've thought back to every position you've held in the past so that you can speak on it easily. Low-key always kind of prepping the where do you see yourself in 5 years kind of thing, because that question actually does come up a lot. So I've heard from other people in different industries, but it did actually come up in mine as well in multiple interviews that I've had. Kind of having an understanding of where you ideally want your future to go. Obviously, that's sometimes out of our control. Most of the time is. People want to know that you're ambitious and that you have drive and goals and things like that outside of like their brand. So like if you didn't work for them, what are your aspirations? What do you want to do? What do you want to contribute to this particular industry? Why are you passionate about it? Passion is huge. Like that's kind of everything. Like people want to know that you're passionate and that you care. So that's a huge one too. I've also learned in fashion, like in those interviews, not all of them, but some of them have ended up being a bit more casual than I anticipated, and the questions have been a bit more personal and like fun. So like I've been asked like who's been inspiring your style or inspiring like you just in general lately, a favorite kind of music, what music do you listen to? Like I've been asked that. So like maybe preparing a few like personal, I mean, I don't know what you're interviewing for. You could also be in an industry where it's like data analytics, babe. Like Kieran's experience in his interviews versus mine. Like we were both kind of going through that process at the same time because he's trying to land like a summer internship, and he did, and he got it. There's good energy going on right now because I don't know, something's in the air. Jump on it, you guys. But the shit he had to talk about and do for his interviews versus mine, you're kidding. Like so different. So again, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt because I don't know what industry you are in particular. Hobbies are good too, like thinking about what your hobbies are. I feel like people might ask that. Who are you outside of work is kind of interesting. That would be dope if like your boss cares about that. Some people really fucking don't. I mean, there's so many like tips and tricks and things, and I'm not necessarily the best person to answer this question, but I think the last thing I'll say is do not put too much pressure on yourself, okay? And remember that the company that's interviewing you needs somebody like you. They need you in that moment. So like come in with confidence because you are worth their time. Do the best that you can. That's all you can do. Sorry if the angle changed. I just finished my eyebrows in the mirror. Fave lip combo at the moment. I love, 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 love. Black liner with clear gloss. So good. It ends up kind of looking a little purpley. So far I've been using my black eyeliner, like Tight Waterline, as my lip liner because I don't have a black lip liner, and clear gloss. Glossier clear gloss, e.l.f. clear gloss. I love it. I got a bunch of questions on styling. How did I kickstart my styling career? Tips for styling assistants. What does it take to be a stylist? How have I developed my style over the years? I think I want to do like a style evolution video. I think that could be very cool and talk more about personal style. I have in a lot of my Q&As done more of like how did I grow my own personal style, my own experience, and like relationship with my personal style, etc. So I'll link those down below to elaborate on that. And same with styling, but I can touch on styling a little bit now and how I got into it. My approach with like the fashion industry, right? I knew I wanted to do fashion. My whole college essay is about this. I never was really this is like so cringe actually that my college essay was like this, but maybe somebody will resonate. Maybe it's not as cringe, whatever. I'm not complaining because this is like led me to who I am today, whatever. Big thing in my high school, like the cool bitches were the sports people, the athletic kids. Like women's soccer was huge, and it was like a whole nother network, right? So like you knew all the upperclassmen because like you did sports with them, and like it was a whole community, and like all my friends were always busy because they were like going to like pasta dinners and like doing all their shit and like whatever. I was not athletic. I'm not a very competitive person. I am in like some realms, right? But like I wouldn't say that that's like a descriptor of who I am. I'm like very passionate, I'm very driven, whatever, but I'm not competitive, okay? Keeping that in mind, once sports started getting really competitive, and like that experience in fucking gym class, and the game that you're playing gets so competitive and people start getting mad at you for being literally just like bad at sports, that triggers me. Like, you girls are people pleaser. When people start getting like mad at me, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm in recreational sports in high school. I'm supposed to be good at badminton. I actually was low-key good at badminton. Like, that shit was actually fun. But like, what? I'm supposed to be good at, I don't know, like, I'm supposed to be good at basketball? How is that like an expectation of like everybody here? This is a gym class. So this is not, I didn't elect to be a part of this. Was never good at sports. Always like a fine student. I was never like really exceptional in any subject. I never felt like I had like a thing. I wasn't really exceptionally good at anything. I always did dance growing up. Never competitive, because again, that same shit. I was doing like hip hop for fun. I always did it for fun. I took art classes for fun. Was never really amazing at art, a really natural drawer. None of that. The only thing that I really felt that was like something that I always kind of like was interested in and like whatever was like clothing. And so when I started, once I was old enough to like get a job, first job was in consignment. Worked at my mom's friend's consignment shop for years and years and years. Worked my way up to like working the register. I originally like merchandised the store. I would like clean the store. It was like when I was like 14. So then I had to like hit a certain age to when I could work the register. That exposure to secondhand clothing and vintage and meeting cool women. I worked at an LF. That was like really the cool girl spot in like my town, whatever. Hated working there. The like policies was so weird. You had to be so fake. Like if you didn't have anything in common with like one person, you had to like make it up and then throw pieces in their dressing room and like force them to buy more. And like me just knowing the prices were so fucked up, and like I just, yeah, that was weird. But again, like I got discounts on clothing. I started, my first like crazy extravagant purchase was like this cheetah coat, and I wore it to high school, and that was like my first big moment of like what it, like everybody else is in like leggings and sweatshirts, and homegirl comes in with a cheetah coat and like a leather pant and like a floral shirt and like a combat boot, and it's like, whoa. I'm sorry, this outfit, it's terrifying. But she was experimenting. And then I'm kind of dabbling into like my style evolution as well. But like when I think back now, my childhood, so much of like my imagination and like what I love to do was play dress up. I made my brother put on a princess dress and like layered on scarves and accessories and hats and like that little treasure chest of clothing. Like I'm so thankful I had that versus like maybe like being an iPad kid, just in terms of like being forced to use your imagination and like develop a sense of self at such a young age. And like I feel like my clothing and my relationship with my style is like, it's so connected to like my inner child, and like having no outside influences and just like connecting with your clothes, letting your clothes inspire you. That childlike mindset, super huge. I'm getting off track. Didn't know what I wanted to do within the industry. Knew I didn't really know how to draw. Didn't really have any sewing experience. Wasn't gonna be a designer. I'm taking pre-college programs. I'm going out. I'm learning a bit more about the industry. Holy shit, there are so many things that you can do in the industry. So many jobs. I really wanted my college experience to be dipping my toes in different parts of the industry, figuring out what was me, what I connected with most. That's also probably going to be the rest of my life, is doing a little bit of that as well. My first like big styling position was, I was Sam Martell styling associate. I've talked about this before. I'm so sorry if this is repetitive for whoever's listening. I'll be so quick. He ran this company with his husband. It was called Triple Creative. It was basically meant to blend styling, celebrity, branding, whatever industries with theater, Broadway industry in New York. Similar to how people say models don't know how to like brand themselves or dress themselves because they're always used to being put into clothing. Same with people in theater. They didn't really know what to do and how to bridge their way into celebrity, how to do social media, how to make themselves a brand, whatever. So we did that for them. Our biggest client was Billy Porter. We had a couple other big ones. I wasn't really there for theater. I love going to Broadway shows, but I don't really know theater like that. So my biggest thing was like, I want to be a part of some fashion moments. And I just want to like learn this industry and learn this world. So that's what I was there for, was just to be a sponge and absorb. I ended up working very closely with Billy and his team. He and Sam were a force to be reckoned with. Like all of Billy's iconic looks, him kind of pushing through into the fashion world really was with Sam, and it was a beautiful thing to witness and like be a part of. It was so cool. Sam really taught me so much. Working with Billy taught me so much. I learned there I don't really want to be a celebrity or personal stylist. I really like editorial styling. It's like every time we did a shoot with Billy, I was like, but it's not what I'm feeling. I want to be on set. I want to bring a more creative, editorial, avant-garde idea and concept to life. I loved dabbling in the creative direction aspect and making mood boards and thinking about what we really want the vision to be. Awesome. My battery's blinking. Wow. A girl can chat. I did a couple other like internships, and when I went abroad, that was super forming for me because I was like actually a fashion student, different from like what I was at Fordham, because Fordham's fashion program sucked ass back then. I don't know about now, but it really did. And then starting to collaborate on my own and building my own portfolio. There are so many creative people in every city. It's not just in New York that, you know, there's models, hair, makeup, photographers that all need to build their book and all need to do test shoots and like get actual work to show people. And so a lot of people will do that for free and just collaborate. And so finding those people, networking, like reaching out to people on Instagram, not being afraid to cold email or cold DM and like do all of that. That's super huge, using the resources that you have at your fingertips right now. I know it's super hard to do shit for free as a college student or however old you are, like whatever age you are. It's brutal to do free shit, but like if this is something you're super passionate about and want to pursue and want to build your own book, on the weekends maybe take like a day and like do a little shoot, just build your portfolio, get out there, start growing, offer your assistance to other people. Same with styling assistants, like tips for them. A lot of people nowadays are just posting opportunities on their Instagram stories. So find every person you would ever want to work for, follow them on Instagram, try to email scrape, DM them, email them, see if they need work. If they're not based in your city, be like, hi. Like if they're based in LA and you live in New York, I've done this many a time and been like, if you're ever in New York, if you're here for fashion week, whatever, I would love to offer my assistance. I'm here, here's like my work, here's my portfolio, you have me if you need me. And like that goes a long way, honestly, because often people won't even like bother to see people out, but like if you're offering and showing the work that you've done, like they'll be like, hell yeah, actually, can you assist me on this shoot? Or like, could you help me with polls today? And just like gaining that experience is super cool and learning from people. There is a point where the freeness starts to not be justifiable anymore and beneficial. So like that's, you have to gauge that. And again, I wasn't paying for my own college, my parents did. So there are like things that fashion, again, and I've heard this been thrown around, this phrase, it's a rich kid sport or a rich kid game, whatever. It is literally ridiculous. It is ridiculous how this industry is shaped and how you need experience to get experience, and a lot of that is going to be free, but you need to work 5 jobs and you're in college and you're paying for college and you're gonna have student loans and the industry doesn't pay you anything and you don't get benefits for any jobs. It's sickening and it's ridiculous. Camera did die, unfortunately. Okay, hi guys, I'm editing this right now. When the camera dies on me and I pick it back up to talk, I like totally forgot what I was talking about, so I just completely don't finish my thought at all. So I'll make sure to like finish that topic in the Q&A coming up, or like my next video, actually like talk more. I'll just like throw in a little part of me talking about my experience styling and like, because I didn't even get to the part where I ended my job at Tyler and for 6 months like was freelance styling and like booking gigs and like navigating that. So I will do that eventually. It's so funny, I'm like editing and I'm like, where? So that's it. Then I go into like, what's my favorite song right now? So sorry about that. Love you guys. So we're gonna have to make this quick. I finished my makeup when you guys were charging. What are you listening to at the moment? Listen, I'm getting into Gracie Abrams. Just got into it. I know I'm a little late, but yeah, listening to her. Miss Beatrice asked me all-time fave scents, perfumes, lotions. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a little basic here. I bought Kieran the Le Labo matcha scent. At the end of the day, it's so good. Literally to the point where like every time I see Kieran and he's wearing it, I'm like, oh my god, you smell so good. It's like, girl, 1, you bought it for him. 2, you know exactly what the scent is. It's just like every time I smell it, I'm like, that smells so good. Like I have to say it because it smells that good. Jazz Club's one of my favorite, the Margiela scent. So good. It's what I wear. I need like a summery scent. I do love a Glossier You. It's just very clean and fresh. So I love that. Those are the 2 perfumes I have. This candle of Jazz Club's really, really good too. Like in the winter, that was so nice. Lotion, like I started this video, she's sensitive girl. So I literally, unscented lotion is what I'm rocking with. But yeah, I do have like scents like in my mind, like my Uncle Peter, my dad's brother, always wore this one cologne. Also, he always used to take us out for Chinese food. There was one day when I was walking out of the subway behind a man wearing Uncle Peter's cologne, and I got up and there was a Panda Express right there, and I smelled the Chinese food, and it literally like, it set off a thing. I was like, whoa. It like literally like felt like Uncle Peter was there. It was so weird. Scents are so cool in that way. So that was really cool. And then I love a cellar, like a basement smell. I love that smell. It smells like my grandparents' first house in Ohio. Favorite fashion influences at the moment? I don't really have any like new ones or anybody that's come to mind except for Chloë Sevigny. Love her. She's been on all my like Pinterest boards and mood boards, like her archive like old looks and then new ones too. I just think she's such a serve. This most recent look, like Are you kidding me? She's just so effortless and like cool. She's just cool. And she has an umlaut over her E too, so. That's my girl. Fashion book recs if you have any. I have a really long list of books that I want to get. And I have like a few down there like Issey Miyake and like Belgian fashion designers. History of costume, which is really cool. But Vivienne Westwood's book, this book, I have it in my living room. It's my coffee table book, but I literally look at it all the time and pull so much inspo from it. Favorite designer of all time. I think we'll wrap there. Those are like all like my screenshots of the ones I knew I wanted to answer. I will let you know if I decide to like literally like change my posting schedule, but I think for now I'm gonna try to post every week still on a Monday. I will figure it out. Obviously I just started on Monday. It's my first weekend since starting full-time, so like still navigating. Thank you guys so much for watching this little Q&A and sending me your questions. I adore you guys literally so much. Thank you as always for supporting me. I love you. Oh god, it's blinking again. Follow me on Instagram, like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next week. Love you.